welcome everybody to another episode of Tackling Tacos, number 39. That's how long ago were you 39, Jordan? It's been quite a few years, right?
15 years. That's like the new tradition now. We open the show, we make fun of how old Jordan is, right? We're almost over the hill.
We're almost over the hill, episode 39. Yeah. So yeah, this is awesome. Stoked for this guest too. Heck yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like all episodes, number 39 is brought to you by Grizzly Coolers, Kenai Gear, Hook and Arrow Supply, Giltech, Working Class Bow Hunter, and Waypoint TV. I said TV.
Wait, Bart, you buy that there Waypoint, boy. You come up there and you got you a television set on the floor like a little console, hit the little dial.
Was it that bad?
No. But,
oh my gosh.
I just sounded like Wesley Strader, didn't I?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I was close. Also, one really rad thing, and it's in process, so maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but I'm just gonna anyway.
Okay.
We're working on having all of our video podcasts, like this one that we're recording right now, be on the Waypoint TV app. And there's no other, I don't think there's any other podcasts that are on the app right now for video. And they said, we want the best. And I said, here we are.
That's all we got.
That's all we got is the best. And so that's actually kind of exciting. So I've been talking to this woman named Catherine and another feller named Turner, like some kind of important people over there, and they're just the friendliest humans ever. And so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and they're like, well, here's the link, and then we just need your description. And so pretty soon our video podcast will be on Waypoint TV too. So if you don't have that app, you should. It's dope. Hunting, fishing,
all the things.
Linder's Angling Edge, Babe Winkleman's on there, which I just realized is my childhood hero. All totally free, so you should do it. So once again, I know we're a little bit late in the game now because the last episode we released with Mr. C-Pip, Chad Pipkins. Side note, what a cool dude.
The coolest.
Well, I mean, what a cool cat. Yeah. He's one of those dudes you get around, you just sort of feel charged up. Like his energy was just
infectious.
Right.
Yeah, that's perfect word, infectious. He just had such a cool laugh and he's one of those dudes, he wakes up like fully dressed and his teeth are brushed. Like he wakes up ready to go. Like that's just how the dude is. But we said on that one, happy New Year's. But now we're actually recording in 2024. So anybody listening, anybody hearing this, seeing this, happy New Year's to you. We hope it's been good so far. Nate, Lola, have you made?
I was just going to ask you.
Have you made any?
Have you?
No. I don't even think about it. Have you made any resolutions?
We didn't even talk about it.
I don't really
New Year's
do that.
People are we?
I don't really do that. I think it's stupid. But
why do you think it's stupid?
I feel like I don't think it's a bad thing to start something. Like if you want to start eating better or running, or if you want to start being more financially responsible, I don't think it's a bad thing to start it on a specific day or whatever. But for everybody just to wait till January 1, it just seems.
For me, it's just got to be on a Monday. I'm going to start eating better. It's going to be on a Monday.
What about you, Nate? You make any resolutions?
Just the stereotypical one of eating better and exercising. I mean,
I think that's great. I think that's a good.
I think next year for Tackling Tacos, we should do a if we're still kicking next year, fingers crossed.
Right.
We should do a negative resolutions. Like this year, I resolved to eat more Taco Johns.
That's good.
Yeah.
Just pile it down. Yeah.
Yeah. There's this radio station near us. I think, is it called the Moose 106.7?
Yeah.
Shout out 106.7.
Bwah, bwah, bwah.
They play classic country, and every commercial break they do this thing, which I'm pretty sure they're on iHeartRadio. So you could look them up because it's like an old school country station, which is really dope. They do these little commercials like, hey, if you've ever worn your good shoes to change the pig feed, you're one of us or whatever. Yeah. And then it's these cheesy deals. I was thinking of one today. Like if you've ever gone to Taco John's and got a 6-pack and a pound and pretended like it was for you and your friends when it was just for you, you're one of us.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I feel like that would be, because you could totally go to Taco John's, get you a 6-pack and a pound that dang well you're going to eat yourself, and then be like, yeah, me and my buddy Patrick are going to split this. But you know what I'm saying? You finna put down 6 tacos and a pound of Olays.
Yeah.
But anyway,
that sounds so good.
I looked it up. But man, seriously, Olays with cheese, it's just
so good.
It's one of the best.
Salty.
Absolutely.
Researchers, I looked this up on the interwebs, which is always correct. They suggest that only 9%, this is so crazy, 9%, so less than 1 in 10 of Americans who make resolutions actually see them through. And of the people who make resolutions on New Year's Day, 43% quit them by January, 24% quit them by the end of that week.
I mean, life gets in the way. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying by the end of the
They
week.
can start again the next year.
The end of the week, though, like a quarter of them, or by the end of the
Well,
week, like never mind.
That's all right.
I'm
They
3 days
tried.
into this whole running thing.
I'm-
It's not happening.
I'm proud of the
Right.
effort.
Yeah.
Are you?
Positivity. It's worth the effort.
Yeah. New Year's resolutions are apparently not worth the effort. But how about this? How about this? How about this? Let's play a stupid game.
Okay.
The game is you can magically have any resolution you
Mhm.
make come true.
Okay.
What would it be?
I feel so nervous right now. Do you have one, Nate?
Ooh, no, I don't.
I feel like I have two.
He said
I-
no.
I would want to
Yeah,
be
I
able
was
to
gonna say
fish
something.
better,
Mhm.
or I want to become a runner. I want to be a runner so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't want to work out.
Yeah.
I mean, working out's okay. It's a good
Do you
thing.
want to get bulky?
I don't. I mean,
I gotta move the camera back to fit
Right.
Lola on the frame.
guys. Oh, my voice would change too, obviously.
Tacos, hoes. This is Lola.
No, I just
I just wanted to say the B word so bad.
Yeah, it would have fit.
It would have been really funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Fishing
I want to
and-
be a
and
runner
running.
every year,
Yeah.
every spring. I'm like, I'm gonna be a runner.
Wait, back it up.
What?
Was that running or milking a cow?
It could be either.
I want to be a
I
runner.
could run and milk a cow at the same time.
I don't think that's possible.
Except for I have trigger finger, so it feels kind of weird. when I do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I think mine, if I could make a New Year's resolution, mine would be to be more organized across the board.
Oh, I love that. That's
because
a good
I'm
one.
really like when I do get organized, like last week I cleaned out the boat and like organized almost everything. I didn't get all my soft plastics reorganized. I kind of just put them in a compartment, but all the hard baits, all the stuff hanging up, all
Yeah.
the stuff on rods from last year still, cut it off, actually went down to the ring,
Yeah.
the tie on it, actually cut the knot off,
I think for
put it away.
you,
That is the best feeling, being organized. And I suck
you
at
and
it.
I are the same in this, that if we have a system, we can stick to it.
Yeah, the
Usually,
system-
like, okay, this is this box for this specific
Installing that
thing.
system.
Installing the system is hard.
Yeah, dude.
That's really hard.
It is. That's probably
That's one of the
honestly like not
challenges
to get Dr. Philly. That's probably where people lose their resolutions, is they don't have like a
Like if
a
there was
form
someone
in place for how to do the
To
thing.
say, here's how you do the thing.
Yeah.
Now just do it.
Or
that would be better.
there's no meat on the bones. It's like, I'm going to start running. It's not, I'm going to start running twice a week,
Right,
every
there's
Monday,
no-
every
it's
Thursday
like
for at
all
least
in.
a half mile.
All
It's
in.
I'm going to start running. It's just real vague and there's no
Right.
teeth. And all right, Nate, you've had some time. What's a resolution? Also, how are you feeling? You sound good, and then you sound like you smoked a pack, and then you sound good.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I've been, was sick for like a week and a half and
Mm.
did the whole COVID test deal and never got a positive test, but I felt almost exactly like I did when I had COVID. So
Okay.
not
Gosh.
quite, never lost my taste, never smell,
Okay.
nothing like that. Wasn't quite as like weak for as long as I was when I had COVID.
Yeah,
but
geez, that's the
That
worst.
was the worst.
yeah, no doubt. But other than that, I've been good except for this
Okay.
gosh darn cough that I
Just
cannot get rid of.
Lingers.
Hanging
Oh,
on,
man, it's-
dude.
Yeah, it's killing me for sure. Just
Mm.
driving me crazy. And the worst
Yeah.
is like now, nighttime. We get
Always
down
at
in the
night.
evening.
Yes.
Always at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you
right
like
away
when
in the
you
morning.
lay down for bed, that's
Yeah.
when it's like,
That's
oh,
it.
I need to be sitting up because
Yep,
otherwise it's
exactly.
all coming up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the
And
worst.
the worst
Hey.
is you're a married man. You lay with your wife at night and
Yeah.
you can't stop coughing. And you're like, golly, I
no.
know this is annoying. This has to be annoying for her.
And then, you take the pillow and put it over your head.
And then you're dead.
Bye.
Exactly.
Coughing's done.
Yeah.
Are you maybe, Nate? Is this potentially a side effect, a manifestation, the sickness for how disgustingly terrible Iowa was
Wait,
in their bowl game?
Wait, I want to hear his resolution.
Oh, sorry. Do you?
That was a good
Before I make fun of you,
transition,
and
but I
wait, what's
just-
the transition noise? Dang it!
That was
No. God. There it is.
He'll get it.
so
Jeepers
bad.
criminy. All right.
No, but yeah, if I had to make a resolution,
Yeah.
something that I'd like to make and like stick to, it'd
Mhm.
be like probably like better like financial planning and like staying on
that's
top
good.
of like, this goes to savings and this
budget.
goes
Yeah.
to this. Exactly. Budgeting
Mhm.
and like,
Yeah.
not just, blowing a bunch of money on tackle, and
I mean,
Can't relate.
it's rough. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a bad deal. But that'd be like probably the major one that I would say, like, if I
My
wanted
brother
to pick one.
sent me this really cool budget form where you basically just plug in your numbers, because I needed the system, but I
Yeah.
didn't know how to come up with a system to like make a good budget, because there's so much out there. And he's like, dude, this one really
Yeah.
works, it's really helpful. And then he sent me another one that is like a snowball chart for like debt, so you can put in the amount of debt, the percentage of the interest rate, and then it'll tell you, if you take the amount from this and then put it to this, once this one's paid off, everything will be
Right.
paid off by whatever
pretty
date.
dope.
And it's really cool to
We've
see.
not done it, but we've
I
seen
mean,
we've
we've
seen the
tried.
formula on the spreadsheet. Yeah, we've not done the whole thing,
but we've worked on it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think it's been
it makes a
helpful.
ton. Yeah, so the snowball thing really quick is dope. So like, let's say you have a debt of $1,000 on a credit card. So let's say you work aggressively to pay off that by putting $200 a month for the next 5 months. So then that's paid off. But what you then do is you take the money you were using to pay off that credit card and you start putting that same amount towards the next debt. So instead of paying the next debt, you pay the next debt plus the $200. So everything like snowballs, it just moves faster and it gets you. If we took your resolution, Nate, with my resolution and Lola's resolution to milk more cows, we'd be in like Flynn.
We'd be so resolved.
We'd be sitting all right. So tell me about Iowa football, Nate. What the heck happened?
Man, it had a lot of roughness happened.
Yeah, who did they play again?
They played Tennessee, the Volunteers.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
In the what was it? The Cheez-It Bowl, I believe.
The
is what
Volunteers.
Yeah, the Tennessee Volunteers.
That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's something
what do they
war
look
related,
like?
isn't it? Isn't that what
do
the Volunteers came
something?
from?
I believe. Yeah. I believe it was. The Orange Men.
Their logo is them like giving money to people.
Tennessee Volunteers, and it's
just kidding.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And what did you get? 49-0.
I got distracted.
It was something pretty close to that. I think it might have been like
42,
42.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the 40s, but
somewhere right around there. I can't remember the exact score, but I watched almost every play of it, and I got to the point where I'm like, the only reason I'm watching this still is in hopes to God that they will put in the backup quarterback.
Really?
Put in the freshman quarterback.
Yeah, seriously.
Everybody's asked for all season, and see if we can just get a little spark. See if he changes something.
Yeah.
Because Deacon Hill was a sitting duck who couldn't throw the ball all game. It was horrendous. It was so
your
bad.
offense has been bad all year though, but your defense has been what got you through, which is pretty dope.
It has, and they got torched too by that backup QB that Tennessee brought out.
Yeah, because what's his face didn't play because he's declaring, right? Melton
Melton. Yeah.
Have you seen that dude throw a football?
I haven't.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. So like he went to the Manning football camp, right? And they do this thing at the Manning football camp where they only invite like Peyton Manning and Eli, whatever, where they only invite certain people. And this cat from Tennessee, Minton, whatever his last name is, it Melton? Is that right? I can't remember.
Isn't that someone on the Packers?
Milton.
Yeah. That's right. Milton. Yeah. So they do this thing where they have golf carts go across the field. I think they have like a 10, a 20, a 30, and then they have like an 80, which is, not a real thing. Nobody's hitting it at 80. So he hits 10. I think he hits 10, misses 20, hits 30, and then he cocks back and hits 80 in the air while the golf cart is moving.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
he hits the golf cart moving at 80 yards. What?
Not everyone
don't
can
even
do
make
that,
sense. And it had to go. It had to like get some kind of clearance. It went so high in the air. Like the thing went straight up out of the frame and it came right back. I was like, oh my gosh, people were just bugging out. That dude's got a gun on him. I don't know if he'll be a good quarterback in the NFL, but holy heavens, I've never seen somebody throw a football as hard as he can. Yeah, he can spin it. Yeah, he's dirty.
I think if he falls into like a Jordan Love situation where he can not go crazy high, get drafted mid range and sit for just a couple seasons. I think he has a potential because he has all the tools for sure. But I think getting thrown out there really kills a lot of guys.
It does. He's got a special arm talent though. I've never seen anything like it. It's nonsense. Yeah.
But I guess while we're on the subject of losing college football teams,
Wah, wah.
Them Longhorns. What happened to them Longhorns?
They actually went back and looked at the footage, and the defense forgot to get off the plane.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's
Yeah.
what that's
They-
why
They
Michael
left
Penix,
a few guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he threw so well, because it was you've seen where there's like 12 players on defense on the field. We
Mhm.
had 2 on the field at a time, and they were both
Yeah.
water
Yeah.
boys.
Mhm.
So that's why he could just throw wherever he's actually playing in the national championship right now, but he's still completing passes from that game.
Okay.
So it's and the crazy thing was, it was the worst defensive game I've ever seen the Longhorns play.
It was
As
so
far as this
sad. They
season.
seem so sloppy.
Yeah, tons of penalties all over the place, tons of big plays, and we're still in at the very end, down by 6, and we have 4 plays from their 12 or 15-yard line to win it,
Yeah, I
and
fell
couldn't get
asleep.
it in. And it
Fell
was just,
asleep. I was so sad.
I mean, I was sitting up in bed, like I was sitting in bed like this,
And then I'd hear
doing
go,
the hook 'em horns, like come on,
and
come
I'd,
on, come on,
like,
come on.
be scared awake.
And then that last play, a bunch of my homies were like, "Oh, wasn't that maybe like pass interference on the Huskies?" And I don't think it was. Like the way the
No,
dude kind
yeah,
of came
that
over
was-
the back and hit it, I don't think it was.
Yeah,
It was
that was pretty dang
it was just a
clean,
good
yeah.
defensive play, and I just sat there like cried myself to sleep. But hey, but
the what? What about the Packers?
yeah, boy,
They made the playoffs.
they made the playoffs, dude. That's so dope. That's a dope hat too, by the way, Nate. That like
I'm
Carhartt
loving
tan
it.
Packer hat. That's really clean.
Yeah.
All things aside, I can get all negative about the defense and whatever, but there were so many times this year that I'm like, there is no way. And Jordan Love had 32 touchdowns, second in the NFL, 4,100 yards. Man, I was not a fan, and I was completely wrong. That boy, he's a dude. Like he was
Hey,
out there playing.
I got one better for you. As we're recording, I got a
Yeah.
message from a buddy of mine, one of our listeners, Chad Wilson. I'm gonna give him a shout out because I just got the message. Shout out Chad Wilson. He sent me a message. He just said, "Go Pack, go." Also, is Jordan still a Love hater?
Dang.
He just sent
I'm
it.
not.
He just
I'm
sent
not.
it. He's like,
That's
"What's
funny.
up? Is he still
Call
a
it
Love
out.
hater?"
Yeah, I was wrong. I was
LOL,
wrong,
yeah.
dude.
He openly admitted that. Like we have a group text with his dad and stepmom,
Yeah.
and we talk like all things Packers,
Constantly.
and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's not the dude. He's not the dude."
Yeah.
And then at one point he goes, "I was wrong. He's
Yeah,
the
it's
dude."
just like
He might be
there
that
were so
dude.
many
Yeah, you
things.
might
His
be the dude.
accuracy was so bad, and like short passes in the flats where players are having to jump for the ball. I'm like, dude, put it on his numbers, man. And then now he's dropping these dimes where like every time that he throws a long pass, I'm thinking like there's a good chance it's going to be there because he's really accurate with it. And he's 6'4", so he's tall. He can see well. He stays so even keeled, like emotionally. And like, do I think we're going to go into Dallas and win? Probably not. I think if we can, it'll be one of two things. It'd either be A, we're running the ball super, super, super well, and we're keeping their offense off the field because their offense scores like 30-something points a game at home, or B, we get into a shootout and can get maybe 1 or 2 stops on defense, which I don't believe in our defense, but if they could,
I believe in them.
otherwise I don't think they have a chance. If it's just like a normal game, I think Dallas will really honestly put a hurting on us, but I don't care. Like the fact that they made the playoffs with, for all intents and purposes, a rookie quarterback. Yeah, I'm pumped. And they have got to get rid of Joe Barry. Have to still.
Yeah, statistically, they're saying they're the youngest team in history ever to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Ever. It's crazy. Yep.
And how good are those receivers looking too, young boys?
Oh, they're looking good. Yeah. I think if they can get some pressure on Dak, keep the ball out of CD Lamb's hands, I think we got a chance to win it. But if CD puts up one of those 200-yard games or something crazy like he's capable of, we don't have a chance.
Yeah, and Dak, somewhat like Josh Allen, his NFC East compatriot, loves to turn the ball over. He ain't afraid to throw a pick. So
he's gonna sling it.
Yeah, you put some pressure on him, he'll gunsling his way into a pick. But dude, so, okay, let's move on. But the last thing I want to say, I was looking at an ESPN quarterback ranking, and they ranked Josh Allen number 4 in the NFL, and Josh Allen number 4 in the NFL, Jordan Love number 11. And I'm like, are you on some kind of like hallucinogenic drug here? Like, as you were writing this article, Josh Allen threw 4 more interceptions. The dude is just a pick machine. The Bills are not that impressive. I like Josh Allen, but get the crap out of here. He's 7 spots better than Jordan Love. Like, no way. And Jordan Love got hosed in the Pro Bowl voting, not even the top 10.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Even though I'm not saying he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl because there are some good players out there, but not even top 10. Come on, dude. Not even an alternate. Get out of here, dude. That's stupid. All right, let's keep it moving. One really quick thing I just want to touch on. This is Wisconsin. It's January 8th. as we're recording this. What
Yeah.
day? January 8th.
Yeah.
I had my boat out on the water on December 30th.
Crazy.
That like not on the ice, not like
We're in
scooting across the ice,
Wisconsin.
but like on the water. I didn't catch anything,
But he was having fun.
and I don't care. It was so dope out there, just cracking a jerk bait, throwing a football jig, throwing a flat-sided square bill, just all the like cold weather stuff. I even threw an A-rig, although every time I throw one, I just feel like such a dope. And I'm not against the A-rig. It's just such a funny, it looks like a chandelier. And I every time I throw it, I think of that Mark Zona episode where he's like, pick up that rig, boy. And I
Fire that rig.
Fire that rig, boy. And I just feel like a dork. But
so funny.
the one cool thing was I was using live scope. As I'm out there, I'm seeing fish, and they might have been crappies, but I'm seeing them all over underneath the deeper water overhang, like laydowns, like on the bottom, like just suction cup to the bottom. And every once in a while, you'd see them swim sideways or come back or whatever. And I would throw something on their heads, even like a small Ned rig, like our homie Gussie said, like on a football style head, and they would swim over to it and then swim away from it. And which kind of sucks and is whatever, but like, man, it was so cool being out. So that was pretty neat.
Super fun.
Yeah. This late in the year. That's pretty dope.
Except for I'm ready to ice fish.
Yeah. It just,
I mean, I love being out on the boat, but I
so
just
strange. Yeah. Also, we can announce that, right?
Good on that.
We can announce it. This is really exciting. And then let's just get cracking. Let's get after it. Let's skip all this other stuff and we'll keep it moving. Brian Brosdale, who is sort of like the MJ of like ice fishing. If you don't know who he is, he's a white dude. He's got kind of like a big, thick, like dark red hair, goatee. He's sponsored by like every ice fishing company ever. The other day when I was at work building an ice shack for a customer, I looked up a how-to video on how to build it, and there he is inside of it. And just like the dude's everywhere with ice fishing. He's going to be on our podcast.
Super exciting.
So like that's really dope. And our questions are probably going to be so
dope. Yeah.
Our questions are probably going to be so ignorant because we're not like these expert.
No, I bet that's what people
ice
love.
People, but
people
I think it'll be
that,
so
then he
rad.
can teach us.
Yeah, it'll be so because he's got that vibe of like teacher, guide, whatever. So I'm really excited for that. Just to be like, dude, break it down for us. Like, how did you get to the level you're at in ice fishing, and how can somebody else? Yeah, I'm really, really pumped for that. So I'm just working out the details on getting him on. So, all right. Our guest tonight, and AJ in the background. I'm sorry for leaving you on there for so long. Usually we do this like 10 minutes. We got talking football, and we should just have a football podcast too. But
that'd be so good.
This is a really exciting one because our guest tonight is a custom lure painter, tackle maker extraordinaire from Nebraska, AJ Mende, and yeah, I'm super pumped to have him on. Nate, why are we so excited to have this cat on the podcast?
Well, I mean, it probably starts with the fact that we've been buying his lures, sharing his photos, like all of this for years now. Choking myself up. Yeah.
They're just such good
like
looking lures.
I mean, it's like the stuff he does is legit works of art. Like it's amazing, you know, and we're super stoked to get to talk with him. But you know, we're talking 5+ years, maybe that
we've been buying stuff.
Maybe 6 years that we've been, you know, grabbing these custom painted crankbaits from him. And just the man, like I said, just the stuff he does is works of art. His ideas behind some of the like paint schemes that he puts together is like stuff you've never seen before. At like levels you've never seen it done. Like
seriously.
I'm stoked.
Yeah,
I'm jazzed up. So
yeah, man. So here he is. Let's bring him in, ladies and gentlemen. Horseshoe tackle owner, painter, bass fisherman, tournament fisherman, AJ Mende. Hey,
what's up, guys?
Hey,
yo,
what's
going on?
What's up, man?
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I don't know if Nate's gonna come down I-80 because you know, my team did not lose their bowl game. Being a Nebraska fan.
Oh yeah.
We haven't lost a bowl game in like 6 or 7 years.
That's awesome.
I mean, we haven't
been to some though, right? Yeah, right.
No. Yeah, and I'm a Vikings fan, so I don't know when the Packers got Donald Driver back on the field, but
yeah,
I've seen number 80 out there, and it's bringing bad flashbacks.
Yeah, man. It's funny, like We were just talking to Austin Felix, who's a Minnesota guy, about the Vikings, and we were like joking with him about Kirk Cousins. And I feel like if you didn't think, like me with Jordan Love, if you didn't think Kirk Cousins was good, well, now all these 58 dudes have been backing him up, just being horse crap. You're like, okay, maybe Kirk Cousins actually is pretty dang good. Yeah, it kind of proves it for sure, dude. Yeah. Anywho, so this is cool, man. We've been fans of your work for a long time. Buying your stuff and having you on the podcast is kind of a cool way to like close the circle of like, life has this weird way of going in patterns and circles, and we saw your stuff, bought your stuff, still bought your stuff, still bought your stuff. Then you commented on like one of our posts, and I was like, dude, be on our podcast. And you were like, yeah, for sure. And so, yeah, man, we're really pumped to have you on.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, it's an honor to be on here. Like, talk tackle, but more importantly, talk tacos.
That's right.
I'm here for the taco talk.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So before I came on here, the reason why I thought I was late, I went and I had a thing from Google pop up, and it was like most visited places, and the Mexican restaurant when I used to live in Lincoln, I looked at it and it said I'd visited 47 times.
Oh my god!
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That's
dude. Yeah, you are kind of human. You're one of us, like we were just talking about. Seriously, dude, that's amazing. And what is it? Do you want to give a shout out? What Mexican restaurant is it?
De Leon's in Lincoln. It's like
De Leon's.
We have a lot of, like, Omaha especially is big packing plant town. It's always been stockyards and stuff. I mean, it's immigrant town from the time it was built.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So like we have a lot of like fast food Mexican restaurants, like local chains that'll have 7 or 8 stores around town.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So De Leon's is the one in Lincoln, and that's also like the drunk college food because they're open until all hours of the night. And
perfect.
What's your favorite thing to get there?
Yeah. What's the juice?
The Nebraska burrito is my favorite. It's steak, egg, and cheese.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
sounds
good.
So good.
Nice. Yeah.
Gum. That's
also
really
good
to
break the hangover.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah. It's funny. Like
just
like,
greasy enough.
Yeah, right. Just the right amount of kind, that little bit of flour in the tortilla. Lola and I, we watch this show pretty often called, like we talked about it here, I think, Somebody Feed Phil. It's a cooking show on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And I never realized and stuff until I started watching sort of more like fancy cuisine shows or competition cooking shows. Cooking an egg properly is like this mark of like how good you are at like cooking, like I always took it for granted. Like I'll just make an egg, make an over easy egg, make a whatever, sunny side, whatever. But that's like a thing, and to have, I was just, and the only reason I'm saying that where my brain is at is I'm just thinking if you made the over easy egg just right and then put that in a burrito and bit in, oh my gosh. Yeah. Dude, that sounds freaking dope. Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah, there's a reason why Julia Child had so many egg recipes in her book. So
yeah, that's dope. Good reference, dude. That was nice.
Well, food's my thing. I don't know if you can tell, but
I like that. I like that backup shot. Yeah,
that's so funny.
Nate said that makes two of us. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of like tacos and stuff, let's just talk about
we can jump off
Let's
tacos.
talk about it.
Well, Nate, hit him with that first question first, and then we'll jump off. I just want to get kind of like the base level stuff. I don't know.
The real cutthroat question of who is AJ?
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. Who are you?
Why do you paint?
Yeah.
What got you into it?
I'm just the type of person that I've always wanted to make whatever. I guess it's because I'm cheap. I started tying flies when I was probably, 10 maybe. And kind of just because like you go into a fly shop and even, however long ago, 25 years ago now, you go into a fly shop and, $150 for a fly seemed just astronomical. I'm like, I can do this.
Yeah.
So I got like the kit from Cabela's with the vise and everything, and the worst materials possible. Had a VHS tape that you'd have to pop in and taught you how to tie flies. That's really where it all started.
Yeah.
Then I kind
of rewind it.
Yep. Yes. And you're trying to tie And they're wrapping like this, and I'm like then unwrapping.
Yeah.
It's, but I mean, it transitioned there from fly tying into jig making when I was in high school. Started making my own jigs because obviously paying for jigs was stupid when I could just make them.
Yeah.
And, it's a really, really good way to spend way more money than you would have. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to spend $3-4 on a jig, then I guess now more expensive, but
yeah.
Instead I bought, a $30 mold and $20 in hooks and $8 in brush guards.
And however many you like messed up and didn't make them right.
Yeah, you spend $100 to save 20.
Yeah, perfect.
But
you also don't get the satisfaction of throwing a jig that you made, designed, poured, painted yourself. So I mean, there's some pretty awesome vibes there. So how did you get into? So was the jig the start of like the actual painting? Like was that where painting kicked off for you?
No, I mean I just kind of made my own jigs. Realized that like I couldn't tie a jig fast enough to ever make money at it.
Sure.
And I mean it was something that I always wanted to do. And it's something tough to do. I worked in retail a lot. I worked at the Cabela's call center. I worked on the floor at Bass Pro.
Okay.
And kind of later on, I got into. I had an uncle that was always trying to tell me you need to custom paint baits. That's where money is. Like people pay money for these baits.
They do.
I mean, he was telling me this 15 years ago to do that.
Okay.
And finally, I broke down and I'm like, that's what I'm going to do. So I bought a kit, sprayed some really bad baits. I mean, just terrible.
Do you have any artistic background, or is this you just like learning? Okay.
None. I don't have any artistic ability now, I don't think. But I can paint something that looks like a crawfish.
So you really like if Lola gave you a canvas and some paints, you couldn't like paint something pretty?
No, I don't think so.
That's so surprising to me. When I look at the way that you make stuff, that really surprises me. That's a good question, Lola.
What I kind of attribute my artistic ability is like watching like the Banksy documentaries and where he would see all the cool graffiti on the walls and realize he's like, I can't do that, but I can make a stencil. That's what I did.
Okay. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's dope. Yeah. If anybody doesn't know Banksy stuff, you should look it up. It's pretty neat. One of my favorite things that Banksy did was when he was on that kick where he was printing off paintings that were in museums, and then he'd paint something weird over the top of it and then put it in the museum and see if people would catch it or not. Like that was pretty dope. Like pretty like I don't know, not Rage Against the Machine-ish, but sort of like that, rebellious type vibe. It was really cool. Plus, his stencils are super sick.
Yeah. So I kind of like I painted for a while. I mean, a long time. I'd come home from work and I would just paint. That's what I'd do. Eat dinner and paint. I mean, every day, that's what I do. Paint. Got everything covered in just dust and paint debris because I wasn't using any ventilation or anything like that.
Right.
Didn't wear a respirator for the first like 2 weeks, and I realized I could feel it in my lungs. Like,
oh my
gosh.
Yeah. So,
wait, when you say you were painting, do you mean like a lure or like you were just practicing on? Okay.
Yeah, painting lures, just the cheap blanks. And then I realized, I mean, that's one of the hardest things is like the blanks. Like the blanks you guys got are really good, but there are some really bad ones out there, and I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but
you're good.
So like when COVID happened, lots of people got into it. I mean, the market got flooded.
Sure.
And I quit my job like at the end of 2019 to do it full time.
Wow.
Which was great at first when COVID started because everybody was buying fishing stuff. But
sure. Yeah.
Shortly after, everybody had a buddy that painted.
Right.
So I kind of got out of the blanks because there's so many bad blanks out there that sink, that are cracked, don't run well. I mean, even you can get two that look the same, but if you really inspect them, they aren't. Like you can see that they're cheaper made. They're made cheaper plastic. They're not, the tolerances aren't as great. So
Can you tell when you're painting on it? Like, oh, this feels worse or this feels okay, or
a lot of them, like a lot of the cheap ones, will have residue on them,
Mm.
and that's really
like
annoying.
that's like a telltale.
Like the mold release, and should be doing all that prep work anyways. Back then, I wasn't like I didn't know better.
Right.
You realize that it doesn't matter what clear coat you're using. If it doesn't stick to the body, it doesn't matter.
Sure. And so will you take 2 seconds, AJ, and explain, there may be some people listening who aren't sure. When you say blank, what are you referring to specifically?
Let's see. I think I got one here. So
Okay.
like just a clear lure, just
No paint on it, no nothing.
no paint,
just
no nothing.
See-through shape with nothing.
Yep.
Yep.
And I mean there's really good blanks out there. And that was kind of like the blanks that you bought for me however many years ago,
Mhm.
when you first got them, those I was spending even 4 or 5 years ago $2.50 for the blank body, nothing else, no
Okay.
hooks, no rings,
No hooks, no
nothing.
hardware. Yeah.
But you can buy a blank that looks seemingly the same for 75 cents. So I always wanted to, like, quality is number one for me. Like, I didn't want anything compromised, because like if people are paying $15 for a bait, why cheap out on it? Like, give them that much. It's kind of a give and take thing, and I think it comes from me working in retail.
well, it's your reputation too.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see a lot of people in this game that kind of come in, then fizzle out. Like, they'll be painting and painting and painting and painting, then they get burned out, or people stop buying from them because quality is an issue.
Yeah.
And you don't want to spread that word.
Right.
And I'm sure there's people who bought from me first that probably got bad product, honestly. I mean, 'cause like I said, I didn't know what I was doing that much. I painted for a long time, but you can only do so much testing, and you don't know what's on there. So
how long had you been painting until you realized, like, these are actually looking pretty dope? Like, how long did that point take? Because I mean, I kind of dabbled in it years and years and years ago.
Remember that?
And I know some of the first ones I did were trash. Like, they were god awful. And
they were trash.
Yeah, they were bad. And it took a long time for me to like get it down and like to where I could like, this actually looks like you could catch a fish on it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't want to know that simple. I want to know, like, when you know, like, you know what, somebody will buy these.
I painted for probably a year before I ever sold anything. But I mean, to anybody.
Well,
Like, didn't
like before you tried to sell them, or before like anybody would buy them?
Before I tried. Well, somebody bought my
makes
first
sense.
lure that I tried to sell. So
okay, yeah, that's cool.
First lure for $12, so on an auction. So
yeah. And did you freak out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just like every bid that came in, you're just like super excited. I do kind of miss that.
Right,
I like the auction because it's just more exciting. But
like on eBay or Etsy or what?
Just on like the Facebook groups, like
okay, sure,
like the bass fishing Facebook groups.
Yeah.
So I do kind of miss that, but
yeah, no doubt.
It's like I said, it's flooded. You can't do it anymore. But because it was crazy there for a little bit. There was some big money getting thrown out.
That's wild.
Nate, can I ask you a question? Was your first Was your first paint job chartreuse and black back?
I'm gonna say that probably absolutely, yeah. Was
probably absolutely.
I think it's everybody's.
I might still have it laying around here somewhere. I think I sent it to Jordan like the other day.
Yeah. I remember. Well, you did some right away that like you made me some, and I would ask you for like specific colors, and Nate's selling himself short. Like he was pretty good at it, and the whole painting thing. I feel like painting on a canvas, painting on a lure, they're not that dissimilar. Like you probably like everything. I don't know. Like you probably suck at first until you kind of push through it and figure stuff out and figure how to do it and how to not do it and how to do the little, like the mesh, like the loofah cut off pieces to make a scale pattern and all that stuff. And yeah,
definitely. But I'll stick to lures.
I will say it was probably also the first custom one I did that I caught a fish on too, was chartreuse and blackback.
Yeah.
So that's,
It catches fish. I mean,
it is the jam.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite to paint? Like a favorite pattern?
No.
Or color?
I kind of like
it's not like a ghost gill.
Yeah, ghost patterns are definitely my favorite, like just in general.
Mhm.
Just because it's the finesse. Like it's more for me than other. I mean, people buy it and people like it, but
Yeah.
it's just like for me to paint, like it's just more satisfying.
Okay.
Like I think it's a better paint job, even though it might not sell as well.
Yeah, that's cool.
What makes it a better paint job?
Just like doing stuff like that, like you can't cover up your mistakes.
Mm.
So a lot of what I do, like the reason I think I'm a pretty good painter is because I got good at covering up my mistakes.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you have to. Yeah. But by ghost, you just mean, and
For
again, I'm
sure.
just trying to play the advocate of people who maybe don't know.
Like me.
Like a lot of people. Ghost, you mean translucent? Yes. Like see-through, not completely coated in paint, but like you have a blank, the clear plastic lure, and then you're not completely covering it in paint. You're doing enough that you can still see through it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I mean, you can get lights to refract through it in different ways. Like you can add, like I don't know if you have any like the Northern Secret 110s. I know they re-released them, so everybody can get them now.
I have a lot of 110s, but not that one that I know of. Nuh-uh.
So if you look at it, the belly of the bait is white,
Mhm.
but if you turn it on its side, it'll show chartreuse.
Okay.
Whoa.
So like stuff like that, like I don't know, gets me excited.
Yeah, definitely. So I was going to ask you that
Yeah, no,
question.
that's
Is that
rad.
something you do? Do you pay a lot of attention to other companies and what they do? Or there are a few, like Mega Bass, obviously everything they do, like it's like the epitome of what you were saying. Like they're not skimping out. They're not cutting corners. You know, they do everything just to the nth degree. But do you look at other painted lures and be like, man, that's dope, I could do that, or that is really terrible, I don't want to do that? Or do you look around at other people's stuff?
I don't as much anymore. I
Okay.
used to, like, kind of to draw inspiration.
Yeah.
But I kind of like would get myself in a rut where I'd paint something, I'd be like, oh, this is really cool. Then it like registers in my head that, oh, this is what somebody else painted, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't want to chase that. You know, if people ask me to paint like another custom painter stuff, I usually just refer them to that painter. I just tell them, go have
So
them
you
paint
do get that? People will be like, can you do
Yeah.
it like this guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's weird.
it happens. Not as much anymore. It used to happen a lot. Like, and people would get mad at me for not wanting to do it. I'm like, go have them paint it. And they're like, oh, it's not even their pattern, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you send me their picture. Like,
So are they trying to support you? Are your prices better? Like, why are they? Is it because you're better at it? Like what?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Do you know what I'm asking? I'm not saying you're not worthy of them coming to you, but why aren't they just buying it?
Yeah,
from
like if
that
you had a
person then?
specific pattern you made, Lola, why would they not just go to Lola and ask for it? Yeah.
Sometimes it's customer, like some of my customers.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I really don't have a problem sending them to, like, I know a lot of other custom painters. I talk to a lot of other ones. TK at Tacklecraft, he's like one of my, I don't know, kind of idols, like person I really look up to in that. And like, I talk to him all the time. So if somebody would send me one of his patterns, I'd be like, talk to him.
Yeah, sure.
Like, you can tell him I sent you. If he says he doesn't want to do it or it's too busy or something, I'll come back and paint it. But
yeah,
that usually, like, most people don't have a problem with it. I'll just tell them who it is, because a lot of times it's, you know, they'll get a picture of it from somewhere that isn't from the person's post or something, and they just have a picture of the bait. And I'll tell them who painted it. It doesn't bother me any.
Yeah, that's dope. I can respect that. So one of the things we wanted to ask you specifically about, really specifically, was, I think, something that sets you apart from basically every other painter out there, and that's your crawfish patterns. They are ridiculous. The way that you do it, I don't know what the color name is. There's one that's like a almost khaki, and then you put like a little bit of like orange splatter kind of on the tail end of the bait, and then there's the Chernobyl craw, and it's stupid. It's so good, and that's what really got me onto you. Is like the top of the bait has this gradient sort of shadowing for like the segmented parts of like a crawfish tail, and then the underside is like really dark and high contrast, and gosh, it's so good. Like the best craw, real talk, probably the best craw pattern, custom or anything else I've ever seen. How did you come up with painting that style of, regardless of the color? How did you come up with that pattern for crawfish stuff?
Out of obsession. I mean,
okay,
first
yeah,
and foremost, like,
Right.
like you'd see these patterns, and some are good and some aren't. I mean, there's a lot of people look the same. You're getting the now there's a lot more out there, a lot more volume of painters posting their stuff.
Sure.
Like when I started painting, there wasn't as much. I mean, there's still a lot. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't painting in the dark ages, but like it just like I knew I could do it better, and I just had to figure out how. And one day in one of the groups, a guy posted how he made a stencil, and I really liked how the shading was on it and how thin the lines could get. And that was my big thing. Like on the gel lines, I wanted them as thin as I could get them.
Yeah.
Which isn't easy because a lot of it comes down to just trigger control on that airbrush.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you have a steady hand?
Yeah, you must.
No, but
that's really surprising.
Like I remember when I first started painting those crawfish patterns, I would hold my breath the whole time I was painting and going in and out of that stencil. And
like
now
suck in the breath and then like sit.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, because I do that sometimes when I'm doing something trying to be steady as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like when you're shooting, if you're shooting a bow or a rifle or something, you hold that breath.
Yep.
And I think that's where I got it from. I grew up target shooting a lot and doing like long range, high power rifle stuff. So like the holding my breath thing while shooting something was pretty easy for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's natural.
I've gotten to the point where now I can do it while breathing, which is nice.
That's good. Gotta breathe.
Especially wearing a respirator that already inhibits your breathing a little bit. But
yeah, well, at least you're wearing one now. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, my ventilation system now is way better.
That's good.
Yeah, so like, here's one of mine that.
Yeah, gosh.
You can see how thin
I hand thing.
Come on, focus.
There it is.
How thin the lines are on that,
dude.
So good.
Like that was the whole thing that I wanted. I wanted those super thin lines.
Sure. Yeah.
A lot of people were cutting like an L shape out, then spraying, and you get all that overspray. And I mean, a lot of that comes to learning how to mix paint and
I don't even know what you're saying.
Properly.
Yeah, seriously, jeez, dude. Yeah, that's sick.
So like I said, I just kind of obsessed over it.
Sure.
And then
are you a perfectionist?
Not necessarily, but
with
like
this,
if there's
are you?
I'll get obsessive and kind of perfectionist about certain things for usually a short period of time. This is one of the, especially like when it comes to fishing, if I want to learn how to do something, I will like go out and I'll like only throw that. Learn it.
Yeah. I try to do that too. Yeah.
And I'm lucky enough to have my family's got a little sand pit or cabin on a little sand pit lake that I can go do that. There's a lot of little fish, reassure your bites, but
yeah, right.
But when it came to like the texture on the craws, that came out of covering up mistakes.
Really?
Yeah. So I couldn't, and there's a lot of people who use the same stuff. They don't use it in the same way. I'm not going to divulge how I do it. I mean, you can figure it out, but a good painter will be able to figure it out. And I just learned how to shade it properly, like different angles, spraying at different angles, holding my stencil at different angles. One of the weird things you have to learn is how to shoot because, right-handed. So I'm spraying everything right-handed. Well, when you flip the bait over, you get a different overspray on the different side.
Yeah. That's cool.
So you have to adjust your spray angle to get that right.
Yeah, never thought of that. That was a good question too. Are you a perfectionist? Because I feel like if you were too much of a perfectionist, you would drive yourself insane painting lures. And if you're not enough, which again, you know, like if you go on like Etsy, there's just a world, I'm sure everywhere, but there's like a world of like custom painted baits on there. And you can tell, I mean, not to be a turd, but you can tell the dudes who are doing it who just don't care enough. They're just pumping stuff out. The clear is kind of gloppy, or the gillfish pattern looks weird, and like your stuff does not look like that. So that actually I think was a super good question. Like, are you a perfectionist? Because yeah, it's a fine line, I suppose. Is the crayfish stuff, the craw stuff, is that some of your better selling patterns, or what's like one of your hottest stuff?
Definitely.
That was the question I had,
yeah. Spro rock crawlers, by far my number one selling bait.
Really?
I mean, that's,
okay.
So is it crayfish or crawfish?
I use them both. Well, usually
I think I say both.
Yeah, I say both. Like if I'm referring to the
say.
actual crustacean in the water, I usually say crayfish. If I'm eating it, it's definitely crawfish.
Oh yeah, craw. Yeah.
Or yeah, you wouldn't say like, hey, is that a cray pattern? Because people would be like, what are you talking about? If you say, is that a craw? Yeah, cray, craw. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, keep going.
I think I started using craw more when I started selling baits, just because of adopting the vernacular.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah, good use of the word vernacular too. I like that word.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome.
How many different patterns do you have, and how did you choose them?
Oh, good one. Yeah.
I have no clue on the number. I kind of whatever I want to do. I mean, a lot of it's just what sells.
Yeah.
I painted a lot of stuff that doesn't sell. And like sometimes, like I'll just have to break myself out of painting the same thing and go out and do something different. Like force myself to come up with something new. Sometimes that doesn't sell either. So,
what do you do for like?
Yeah.
What do you do for like inspiration to get like an idea for like a new color or new pattern or something like that? Like you've been in a rut painting the same thing for months and months, and you want to change it up. What's normally giveaway?
So I'll tell you the good side of it was like this pattern. This was like I call Nebraska craw. It's that dark reddish brown back with the blue tail. You can't really see
the blue is so filthy.
That's like the color that kind of really made me blow up.
Okay.
I started painting these on rock crawlers before Spro came out with Stone Cold, which is a similar pattern.
Do you think it's possible they stole it from you, or do you not want to say that?
I don't know. People told me that they already had it. I will say that not them, but a different company definitely stole it from me.
Who is it? Berkeley? Is it Berkeley?
No,
Berkeley steals everything.
Berkeley.
Okay.
Berkeley steals everything.
I love Berkeley stuff, but they steal so much. I'm like, you're a huge company. You don't need to do that. But yeah, anyway, you don't have to name them. But
no,
you like it's like spot on, or it's like exactly the same, or how do you know they stole it?
They changed their craw pattern, and it looks just like mine.
Wow, that's a compliment and
funny.
A huge kick in the balls at the same time.
Yeah. And they had like the orange dots and everything. Like
really?
Yeah. I remember I was looking through Wired to Fish, like the new baits being released, and I was like, like that was the color they picked.
Wow, dang, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
You get mad about it, and whatever. Like, I still selling them. Like, no problem. But I couldn't tell you how many hundreds of these are in the Ozarks that I'd painted over the years.
Yeah,
just one bait and one color.
Wow. Do you remember a couple of years ago, AJ, when Hank Cherry won the Classic, and somebody asked him, "What'd you catch all those on?" And he said, "A white undisclosed jerkbait." And then Mega Bass like instantly put out the social media post, and they're like, "Introducing our new color code, undisclosed jerkbait," because like everybody knew what bait it was, knew what color it was. Was it French Pearl or was it just white? I can't remember. But
no, it's the OB stain reaction.
Oh yeah, stain reaction. OB stain reaction with the red eye. Yeah, and like and they're like our new undisclosed jerk, but they just smoked him with it. I was like, dang, that was cold hearted and awesome at the same time.
Well, I mean, I think both sides kind of expect that. Like Hank's not getting paid by him, and Hank shouldn't get mad that they posted. That's the bait he was using, you know.
Yeah. And everybody.
I think it's just how you play the game.
Yeah, and I think they did it like kind of playful. It wasn't like "F you, Hank."
No. Yeah,
Give us
absolutely.
credit. It was just kind of playful and silly, but it was just so funny and it was so quick. They did put it out so fast after he said that. But yeah, I think people catch on to that stuff. So I'm sorry that I took us off of it.
Yeah, you can't
yes.
hide it anymore. That stuff anymore.
Well, no, not with like the coverage they have now and everything else. It's basically impossible. And you'll see sometimes too, man, when dudes try to act like they're hugging the nose of the boat more to like take the fish off, like with the camera to their bat. I'm like, dude, we know what you're doing. We know you're throwing a bait that you're not sponsored by.
Yeah.
I was talking to Polinick the other day, and he was telling me with his Mega Bass deal how they're like, he's using Mega Bass for all hard baits, and they're just so cool to work with because he's like saying, that they're fine with him using whatever he needs to use to win, they're not, they're realistic. And he said he had been talking to them for a while about going to Mega Bass. And I said, yeah, well, Yuki Ito keeps calling me like on the daily, like, dude, let us sponsor Tackling Tacos, like name your price. And I'm like, dude, stop. And then Brandon was like, yeah, dude, they bring you up all the time. And I keep telling them that they can't afford you. And I'm like, thank you, dude. Tell them to lose my phone number. Jeepers, criminy.
I will say something about Mega Bass though. Like, I have a problem. Like, one of my big bugaboos in the fishing industry, or especially like the custom industry, is people using superlatives like, this is the best, like, this is the best crankbait, best 1.5 or square bill you can buy. It's the same 1.5 knockoff that everybody's buying,
Sure.
Yeah.
And this is, I can paint stuff just as good as Mega Bass, and I will tell you, after having guys send me Mega Bass baits to copy, you can't. Like, I'll spend a lot of time on one bait to like get it to look something close to what a Mega Bass looks like. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I actually I work at, I don't know how much you listen to our show or not. But I work at Shields, and I was just having a conversation with kind of an older fella that I work with, and he just could not get his brain around. We've been really slow lately. So I've been looking at like shields.com, looking at baits and whatever. And I was looking at some Mega Bass stuff, while I was working, and he came over and was like, geez Louise, $25 for a bait? What are you, crazy? Blah, blah, blah. And so I tried to start explaining to him how true it runs, how good the hooks are, how good the paint job is, whatever. And I was thinking, just out of the box, it just works. He's like, every lure works out of the box. And I was like, well, not really. And it's hard to explain to some people, but there is a difference, right? Like, not just all JDM stuff, but Mega Bass, their quality is pretty high.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why everybody's jerkbait now looks like theirs. I mean,
right.
There just is. I mean, do I have a lot of Mega Bass stuff? No, but that's because, as I explained earlier, I'm very cheap. I'll spend way more money than what it would cost me to buy a Mega Bass jerkbait to go buy blanks that I think will work. And fun fact, there's none out there.
Right. Yeah, not like that. They might look like you were saying earlier, they might look the same, but the insides, they are not the same.
And it's funny, like that, and like wiggle warts. There's like one wiggle wart blank that's, I mean, real close to the old ones,
like the pre-Rapala.
Yeah, but the problem is, it's just like the old ones in that, 2 out of 10 aren't going to run ever.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
You're never going to be able to tune them. Nothing.
Yeah, that's a thing. Yep.
Yeah. So that's why, I mean, I think the wiggle wart market kind of got killed by the rock crawler anyways.
Yeah,
just
true.
Because I will shout out Spro real hard that they're by far the most consistent manufacturer, I think, on the market.
Okay.
I don't paint a lot of Mega Bass stuff, so I can't really attribute that because most people don't want to pay it. I mean, they come in enough colors for jerk baits.
They do have a ton, yeah.
Right.
But like, I can paint 100 rock crawlers and maybe one will have some cosmetic imperfection.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
I can go, and I mean, like Strike King, they'll have, not that they're bad or broken or anything like that, but they'll have like runs in the clear coat or something up with them, cosmetic imperfections, nothing that anyone will ever notice except for the guy sanding them and painting them white.
Does that mean it would affect how it works or not at all?
No.
Okay.
It's just little things, but you just gain an appreciation for
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for the ones that have a higher, a little higher standard. And what he was referring to also, Lola, like the old Storm Wigglewort, which is just a classic crankbait back in the day. They have an action before they got bought out by Rapala that they just can't replicate. They can't get it back. But they would say like a third of them, I think is what a lot of people have said. You cannot get them to run straight, no matter how you tune the little hook tie or the line tie. You can't get them to like, there's just something goofy with them. So that was just a thing back in the day. So that just happens. So let's transition, AJ. Let's get to the what does he say in Nacho Libre? The nitty gritty. Let's talk about some taco stuff. Lola, I am sorry as your husband that I cut you off as we were about to talk about tacos.
It's okay. He wanted to talk about tacos.
I know.
So I was going with what our guests
and
wanted.
I will never do that again, ever.
That's
and if
probably
I do,
a good call.
you can punch me during the podcast.
Can I just punch you now?
No.
Okay.
We might not have gotten to
way along.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But let's talk tacos. AJ, when's the last time you had a taco?
Last week.
And what was on it?
I have got a saying, new year, new meat. So I did prime rib tacos.
Whoa.
Okay, you fancy boy.
Hold on. Prime rib tacos.
Yeah.
On that.
I smoked prime rib we had a delayed Christmas because of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Did you have it too?
Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't, but my fiance's mom did, and then when we rescheduled it, my brother did. So
gosh, dude, so sick of that crap. I'm sorry, man.
So I smoked prime rib for that. And then so like all the end pieces and then everything off the bone, I took and saved, and we made that into tacos.
I'm seriously so hungry now.
Shoot.
So then what fixins do you use with prime
and what
rib?
did you do to it? Did you chop it up small? Did you kind of
Is it shreddy?
I chopped it up small.
Not shreddy.
And a lot of that stuff, the bone
but...
still has a lot of the fat still in it, so it's real fat. I mean, like bacon looking.
Yeah.
So fries up real nice. Trying to think, what did we put on them?
Is there somebody there with you?
No, I'm just looking.
Okay, you looked. I'm like, were you asking someone?
No, I'm looking to think. That's my
thing. Whoever's
when you ask
there.
about how I gain inspiration, Nate, I usually tend to just walk around here.
Okay,
right.
Yeah, that's smart.
The thinking corner.
Yeah. I look at all the lures. And I'm like, nope.
Yes, that one.
This is what I.
So
yeah. Anyway, keep going. This is amazing. Most people are like, oh, I like tacos. Like beef and cheese, and you're like, well, I smoked a prime rib. I'm like, oh, F word. Like, holy crap, dude, you're killing it. Keep going.
I don't even remember what we put on them. Because I did beans as a side. I don't remember.
What normal toppings do you put on your tacos? Toppings, fixins?
Yeah.
We always have cilantro in the house.
Yes, sir.
Nice in the summer. We have it in the garden. So
dang, dude, you are killing us right now. Yeah.
I told you I wanted to talk tacos.
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
Right, we got the taco talk out of the way. Let's get to the
good stuff.
This dude's making us look bad, Lola. He's talking about growing his own cilantro, smoking prime rib.
I tried to grow my own cilantro, and then our baby pulled it out of the dirt, and then it died.
Babies.
Babies.
My dog ripped most of our pepper plants out this year. Right
Dogs and babies.
And put them in the garden, raised garden beds, and he ripped them out.
He said no.
No.
But ended up getting a really good jalapeno plant this year. So
nice. Heck yeah, dude.
Jalapenos
are an interesting bird. Yeah, jalapenos, they can be really good and flavorful, or they can be really good and flavorful and just burn your face smooth off. I feel like there's so much variance.
I always tend to touch my eye after I cut it. So
yeah, just don't.
It's just the worst.
Never mind. I'm not gonna say.
Oh, stop it.
Okay, so one time I was cutting up jalapenos for smoked salmon tacos that we made, where I was making like a jalapeno ranch to put on top. And after I cut up the jalapenos, I
think you went to the bathroom.
I went to go use the bathroom just to go pee, and I got jalapeno juice all over an area of your body that you don't want jalapeno juice on. So just a PSA to anybody listening: make sure you wash your hands before you go potty. If you got jalapeno juice on your fingers, that's not a good time at all.
Yeah, that's a bad deal.
Yeah. Are you a queso guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't make it. I mean, I make most things. Queso's not one of them, but if it's available, I will get queso.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude.
What about like salsa? Do you like spicy salsa? Are you a spicy guy?
Do you make your own salsa?
Yeah,
pico
I grow
guy?
everything out of the garden and make salsa out of
Dude.
it.
Okay. I see you.
Yeah,
You know,
impressive.
fire roast the tomatoes and everything.
Oh,
Dang,
stop it.
Yeah, dude, this is dope.
I think it all reverts back to the crankbaits. If he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it right.
That's a
and
good
that's
point. Great
like,
call,
like
Nate.
like you
I
just
like
it.
do it right. Yeah,
you're gonna do it. You're gonna do it.
You got a reputation in the kitchen now.
Yeah. So
One thing
where
that don't cost no money is time.
That's it. Yeah, that's
You know?
good, Nate. Write that down. Somebody write that down. Writing sound.
Yeah.
AJ, where are you in Nebraska?
I'm in Omaha.
Omaha. How far is Omaha from here? Can we come hang out? Like,
Yeah,
can we, if
we're
we drive
on
over there?
Right on the Iowa border.
Oh, that's not even that far
That's
then.
it. Yeah.
We gotta get over there,
Straight
dude.
down I-80.
Lola's looking it up right now.
6 hours and 37
6
minutes.
hours. That's not that bad.
It's only
dude.
437 miles.
I mean, he
by
is not
car.
even a little bit said we could come hang out, but we're just sort of inviting ourselves right
We're
now.
coming.
Yeah, we can come have some salsa and watch you paint some baits. It'll be really fun.
It'll be fun.
Right.
You'll
Yeah,
love
get a bait tutorial.
Thanks for letting us come over, even though you did invite us.
You do all these things. Does your fiance cook? Does she like to garden?
Yeah, congrats
and do all
on
that?
congrats on the engagement,
Yeah,
dude.
exciting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you been engaged, AJ?
Since end of September.
Dude, heck
Oh,
yeah.
so
Congratulations.
nice.
Yeah,
That's
congrats,
amazing.
man.
Yeah. Keep going on the tacos. Just want to congratulate you.
So I think that's the only reason why she stuck around was because I made her tacos. I introduced her to not ground beef tacos.
Okay.
Like corn tortilla, white onion, cilantro, lime.
Yep.
Like simple, sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's why. And our taco repertoire is just grown from there. So we have tacos probably not as much as she would like, but
right.
I mean, pretty often.
Yeah, you're like a drug dealer. You like hooked her up, and now she's like just tacos all the time.
Gotta have them.
You gotta have. So Nate doesn't like onions, which is really hard for me because I think the perfect taco may be the doubled up corn tortilla, steak, cilantro, onion, and just the right amount of lime juice. Too much, and you get too much like acidity and sweetness. Not enough, you just want more. But just that right blend, man, that's the jam. Nate, come on, dude, step it up.
I think you can get all that without the onion. I think you can. Like I
think you're wrong.
That's like throwing a crankbait with one treble hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still gonna eat it. You know what I'm saying? They eat it for hook. You know they wanted it.
The hookup ratio may not be as good, but
but they're gonna eat it. They're gonna bite it.
They're gonna try and eat it though, for sure. Yeah.
Well, so what's the most like exotic taco that you've had? Anything like wild, off the wall, crazy meats, New Year new meat?
Had a lot of different meats on a taco. I made lengua tacos not that long ago.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd had it before, but I actually went through and made it myself.
Yeah.
So
how does that come? Does it look weird? Because lingua is anybody listening who doesn't know, it's beef tongue. La lingua tacos are like a pretty common deal. But how does it look when you're getting ready to prepare it? I don't know that I'd want to cut up and like cook a lingua.
That was kind of my question too.
It looks like a tongue. I mean,
so what is it? What is it like peeling off like the outside layer of the tongue? Like
it's not hard. You have to boil it and then it comes right off.
You lost me. Please don't make that one.
Like once you get it out of your head, what it is, it's so good.
Yeah,
it's in my head now.
And my fiance she didn't want to be anywhere near it when I was making it. She goes, "You just let me know when the skin's peeled off and it's cut up." Like,
yeah. Did she eat it? Did she like it?
Yeah, she liked it. Yeah.
Okay, what's your fiance's name?
Ellie.
Well, shout out Ellie for moving past.
You go, girl.
Yeah, seriously, that took some guts for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so with you being such a cuisine type feller in the kitchen, is there, you said you went to that one spot like 47 times or whatever it is, but is there a local spot in Omaha that you go to and that you're a huge, because that's not Omaha, right? You said that was Lincoln.
Yeah.
Do you have a spot around you now that you approve of? Because I think it's different. When you start making your own hamburgers, it's hard to go to a hamburger joint and be satisfied.
Same with steak. I think steak.
Yeah.
Like when you have a good steak at home, why would I go out and spend money?
Yeah. So if you're good at tacos, is it hard for you to go out and eat tacos, or is there a good place around you?
Yeah, we'll go out. There's a place right up the road called Little Burrow. The best time to go there is in the summer. They grow their own poblanos out back.
Oh,
So you
nice.
can get a chili relleno or a poblano relleno, like
Mhm.
super fresh. I mean,
Yeah.
That's good.
Can't
that's
get
really good. I
fresher
mean,
than
it's not
that.
taco, but
Yeah.
you know, when in season, you can't really beat that. I mean, they have, all their food's great, but
Yeah. And what is that? Say it again. What's the place called?
Lil Burrow,
Lil, like Lil.
Lil.
It sounds like a
Isn't it-
rapper, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Isn't
Lil
it
it's
Burrow.
not
little? Isn't that
outside
a
of
donkey?
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean little donkey?
Yes.
Okay.
Little donkey. There it is. And
Lil
for what
donkey.
it's worth, little donkeys, like mini donkeys, may be the cutest animal on
I
planet
want
Earth.
one
Yeah, they may
or
be.
4.
Yeah, they should just have little donkeys running around the store. It
Little
could be like their
poodles.
gimmick, but I guess they don't have to if they have really dope food.
Yeah.
You guys got any more taco questions? Should we talk fishing or should we keep talking tacos? What's the most essential taco topping, AJ?
It depends on the taco.
Well, he said
Yeah,
cilantro is always in
that's
the
true.
house.
It's a big, like, I think you have to have everything. You have to have acidity. You have to have the fat from something. You know, whether your acidity's lime or like pulled pork tacos, I think the perfect topping is pickled onions.
Yep. Pulled pork tacos are the jam.
Fish tacos. One of my probably my favorite taco I've ever had, which isn't like exotic, wasn't probably the best taco I ever had, but we were up in Canada and did a shore lunch.
Oh heck yes!
Just had like the coleslaw mix, like just the cabbage,
in
the bag, and just that on tortilla, fresh.
It's so
fish
good.
right out of the lake.
So
Can't
perfect.
beat it.
No, you really can't. Did you with the coleslaw? Did you have the sauce or just the mix?
We just had a bottle of Cholula with us.
Oh, dude, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, well, because it gives you that crunch.
Exactly. That crunch of the coleslaw. Because coleslaw is like, you know, pretty dang neutral, like flavor profile
It's got
wise.
a little something.
But when you, just that little something that it does have set off against like the fried taco or the fried fish meat with a little Cholula or whatever, some kind of spicy in it. Man, that's sometimes you watch these like shows. I don't know if you watch any fishing, or I'm sorry, man, my brain is just not working. If you watch any taco or cooking shows, AJ, but sometimes you'll watch these ones and they're super complex, and then you see something like what you just described. Fish, that's fresh. That's the big key of it. Some cabbage, a little bit of hot sauce. There's something about that simplicity, right?
Yeah.
That's so dope. It's hard to beat, dude.
Yeah. I do watch cooking shows. Well, maybe not so many fishing shows. Like cooking's my deal. Like I love it.
Okay. That's dope. I like that.
So cool.
Yeah.
So besides tacos, what do you like to cook?
Anything and everything.
Okay.
Like I said,
Really?
I mean, it's the same way I am with fishing lures. Like I want to know how to make it. Like I can buy it, but I want to know how to make it. So I go through and
go ahead. Sorry.
Go back through everything and try to make everything from scratch. I don't make tortillas from scratch because they're too cheap.
Yeah, tortillas are such a cool art form too, man. When you go to like a legit Mexican spot and you see like that grandma in the movie Coco in the corner, like flattening out tortillas, you're like this is the place. Yeah, this is gonna be dope. This is gonna be good.
So are you like a recipe follower? Are you add a little bit of this, add a little bit of that?
I'm look up as many 5 to 6 recipes and then figure out what has to be there.
Same thing. Yep.
And then go from there.
I do the same thing.
That is the jam. Yeah. And that's honestly, that's the great thing. We talk about this all the time on this show is like tacos aren't necessarily like rules. Whatever you want to kind of amalgamate from this barbecue spot and this Thai spot and this topping and this fish that you caught and put them together, you do it right in the right portions. I mean, it's just, it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's dope, dude. I love that. All right. So let's talk fishing, AJ. How did you, because I see on your website, there's a picture of you with a tournament jersey on, and I can't tell for sure. Was that like an opens backdrop in the background, or like, how did you get into fishing? Tell us about that.
I mean, I got into fishing, before I can remember. My dad took me, we had, like I said, my family's got a place on a little sand pit lake, and it was every Sunday in the summer, the whole family, we're a good big Irish Catholic family. So my mom's 1 of 9 and everyone lives in town. So everybody was there on the week or on Sundays
I
and
love that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
just go fishing. Like, I mean, I could go swimming, but I spend most of my time fishing.
Yeah.
That sounds
And
so great.
the jersey I'm wearing, that's from the Bass Nation Regional.
Okay.
So I fished a few of those.
Yeah. So so back up a little bit. How did you go from fishing with your giant family into fishing Bass Nation? I mean, like where did it start from, like fishing into like bass, into tournaments, into like really tournaments? And are you still doing tournaments like that now?
Yeah. I so I mean that lake's been, I mean it's called Horseshoe Lake, and that's where I got the name of the company
Yeah,
from.
that was gonna come up too. Yeah, that's awesome.
Which it also ties in. It just worked perfectly. It was just one of those things. I spent a long time trying to think of a name,
Yeah.
and I mean, obviously that's where I learned to fish. That's where I have done most of my fishing in my life. It's where I still fish a lot. And
Okay.
at the time I was working as a manager at a Western store. So ties into that, and horseshoes are good luck. So I mean, it just
Right on.
worked, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
But fishing that lake, you know, it's a little 30-acre lake. It's got bass in it. My dad wanted to fish walleye all the time, so we didn't have a boat or anything. We'd fish from shore. But I mean, you can only do that so much. But I'd call my grandparents in the summer every day, every weekday. Like, are you going down to the cabin? No. And then they would, I'd get them to cave, you know, at least
Yeah.
once more a
course.
week.
Yeah.
And I'd take the little paddle boat out and just go fish around.
Oh,
That's cool.
You know, and bass was definitely the target species in there. And I went from there, and I mean, so I've always had that place. I've always been able to fish there, which is like, I'm grateful for that. It used to have, you know, a lot of big fish in it, and I didn't know what I was doing. And then we had a bad winter kill, and we don't have that anymore. But so I'd always done that. My uncle fished tournaments.
is that the same uncle that encouraged you to
Yep.
paint? Okay.
My uncle
Oh,
Sean,
man.
yeah.
Dude,
So
shout out
to
to
him.
Sean. Seriously. What a cool dude.
Shout out.
And you know, he kind of got out of it after he had kids and would fish a couple a year. And one of his good buddies that he'd fit, you know, essentially his partner for whatever couple tournaments he'd fish a year.
Mhm.
He asked me, he goes, we need another guy for our state team. Do you want to fish it? So I was like, yeah, I'll fish it. Down the Table Rock, never fished a tournament before. And
Wow.
go down there, you know, never seen a lake like that before.
Yeah.
You know, I'm used
a
to
little
mud.
different than Horseshoe.
Yeah, I'm used to mud lakes, and you know, you throw at docks and trees and whatever. No clear water, no rocks. I mean, there's about 20 rocks in the whole state of Nebraska, I think. You know, and going down there and fishing everything, it's just rock. And I just threw a Senko around and ended up finishing, I think, 6th in that tournament out of 50 guys. So
Wow. That's a
Wow.
good start. Jeez.
yeah. So it kind of hooked me there. Then I qualified to fish the regional the following year at Gunnersville. So my second
Okay.
tournament ever was down at Gunnersville.
That was your second derby ever?
Yep.
Jeez Louise.
And that was a very eye-opening experience because that was a 150 boat tournament.
Good Lord.
And going out there, catching my limit right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm feeling good. They're all 2.5 pounders, nothing big, but I'm like, this is pretty good. And then I realized 2.5 pounders at Gunnersville don't do any good.
Yeah, sure.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, and it kind of just went from there. So now I just fish that every year. Then once I moved back to Omaha, the same guy, Chris, that got me into bass or got me into tournament fishing.
Mhm.
I joined his club, and now I've been fishing club tournaments the past couple of years, along with the state tournament. And
That's awesome. What's the name of the club you're in?
River City Bass.
River City Bass. Shout out River City Bass. Point.
So it's a good group of guys. I think we're the biggest club in Nebraska. So
Sweet. How many boats do you have at your derbies?
usually it's not that many. It's like, you know, 12, I would say on average. You might get a little more, a little less, depending on the tournament.
That's fun. So everybody knows each
Yeah.
other, and there's like a rad camaraderie, I assume.
Yeah, and we don't fish for money. Essentially, our club, you fish for points, and
Yep.
whoever finishes in the top 8 qualifies for our state team, and then they pay for that. So,
Oh,
which is a
that's
cool
dope.
deal. So it's not, you know, not everyone's cutting each other off, and It's kind of makes it a more fun tournament, but you're still fishing for something.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Seems
really
like a
dope.
cool system.
That is cool.
Yeah, what's your favorite way to get them? What's your favorite way to catch fish?
Probably not a jig, or probably not a crankbait, probably a jig.
Okay, yeah. Are you shallow, like a flipping, skipping jig? Are you like out on a rock hump, dragging a football jig guy, or what kind of jig fishing?
Either or. Like,
Yeah.
I fished. I was lucky enough, doing this, and went and met a couple strangers up in Minnesota. I met Hellabass and
Right
TK
on.
up there, and we did some fishing. And they just
Fun.
kept making fun of me because I was a dragger and I was catching fish behind them.
Right.
Third guy in the boat on a jig.
Yeah, dude, that's wild. So are you a patient person in general, AJ? Because I feel like dragging a jig, like you can absolutely catch fish, but it takes a certain level of like focus and or like patience.
I wouldn't say patient necessarily, but like I just have so much confidence in it
Sure.
that I
Yeah.
can just go anywhere. And
Well, you
I
know
mean, I
it's
went
gonna
out.
catch fish. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's a
Just
pretty
makes
logical.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. That's dope. So how long have you known Rich then from Hellabass?
I met him at the lacrosse regional in 2021,
Okay.
I think. So a couple years now. Yeah, we had a good. I mean, that was the first time. I mean, since then, well, we fished. He qualified for nationals that year, and so did I out of lacrosse. So
Okay. Yeah, that's really dope. That's really. It's funny how like the fishing world is kind of tied together. Like we know Rich, and you know Rich, and now we know you, and it's just we should all hold hands.
So cute.
Yeah.
So you have a really good Instagram following. I haven't looked on like Facebook and stuff. Like, how did you build that? And do you only do online sales, or do you go to shows? Do you have an Etsy account? Like, tell us all of that.
I've built my Instagram following back when it was easy.
Okay.
It's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder. Like I spend a lot of time. Like I had the algorithm down. Like I would track. I had a notebook where I tracked when I posted every day, what I posted, what my caption was. Just trying to figure out what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're really, pumping, really promoting reels, and it's just a lot tougher to do it like for that. But, Facebook hasn't been as good. I don't know how many followers I have on there. Pretty much everything just trickles over from Instagram. I kind of just focus on Instagram because that's where the bulk of my following is. And I kind of built it up on there by posting in those groups, those fishing flea market, whatever groups, and kind of gained a good following from them. Like, I would say like quality of customer, my Facebook customers are better. Just like a higher percentage of my followers from Facebook will buy something rather than Instagram, So I only sell through my website anymore. I'll have some people that message me and say, hey, I want this. I do a lot of custom work still. Like guys will send me baits and I'll paint them. Usually you don't see pictures of those because I really don't have a reason to post them unless I think I really do a good job. Then I'll ask, but that's fairly rare.
Yeah. So do dudes send you like swim baits or things like that, or is it mostly like jerk baits, crank baits, whatever?
It's mostly crankbaits. I kind of try to not do swim baits. I think there's better people out there than me. And the time, and I'm not like, for a long time, like I just wasn't set up to swim baits. So there's a lot of people that do that and they do a great job. I just decided to let them have it, and I'm not going to chase that.
Yeah, right on. I just saw that on your website. You have that thing about sending in baits, and I didn't know if that was like wide open, like any bait on planet Earth, or any new baits that have been out recently that you really enjoy painting. I saw that you have like the OG stuff on there, like the Rapala At Defo stuff. Is there anything new that you like slapping paint
on? Those I do. The OG Slims.
Yeah.
I really like painting them because they have smooth sides, which no scales or anything, so you can really make that paint pop on it. There's nothing, no scales or anything to eat up the detail of your paint.
Yeah.
And I mean, most painters will tell you the same thing. It's like they'd prefer a smooth sided bait. And flat sides are easier to put a stencil on rather than a curved surface.
Okay.
So, but new stuff, Not really. I haven't had a lot of people send me any new stuff.
Okay.
Just because, and I don't venture out as much as I used to.
Yeah.
I just kind of paint what I know will sell. If I find a really good deal on something, I might buy a bunch and sell them and see what happens.
Sure.
But
have you done any of like the bait bundles from like Lure Net or anything like that, where you can get like a 6-pack like Zara Spooks or anything like that, and like painted those up?
no, we'll just keep that. I don't think those exist. I haven't seen that deal.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
Yep. There it is.
Yep. Perfect.
Point taken. Fair
I don't
enough.
know what you're talking about.
That's perfect, dude. Let me ask you a specific question.
I've done a lot of them. I have a ton of them. I wish
Yeah.
they cut the price on them, and I bought hundreds. So
Wow, that's crazy, dude. Let me how long does it take you? I know there's got to be variance based on the lure, the pattern, the color, the whatever. But how long does it take you? Let's just say on a I don't know, Zara Spook, whatever. How long does it take you clear to finished in a, I don't know, a ghost gill color, let's say, or from very start to very finish? How long does it take you to paint up a bait?
one bait, I'd want to say like maybe 15 minutes,
Okay.
but there's a lot that goes into it,
Yeah.
because everything I'm doing is in batches.
Right. So you're doing a little bit and then moving
Oh.
on, letting one thing dry, coming back to it, adding stuff, letting that dry, coming back, clearing it, whatever.
Yeah. And like, I mean, painting crankbait seems all fun, but when you realize that what you really are a crankbait sander, that's I mean, I spend just almost as much time, depending on the paint job, I spend almost as much time sanding a bait as I do painting it.
Wow. And do you have to sand blanks when they come in?
Yeah, I sand everything. So I won't
Wowzers.
like if a blank has scales and stuff, and that goes for any bait, not just a blank. If it has scales or any kind of detail, I try not to like sand it because you don't want to take away those scales. So
Yeah.
a lot of it'll come down to using like Scotch-Brite pads.
Oh, sure.
Which takes a lot longer, but
Yeah.
you don't want to eat that detail away. And I tried like soda blasting and stuff, and it's a lot messier, and it doesn't save me any time. It doesn't seem like so.
Okay. Yeah.
It's something that I can do and sit here and watch something on TV or listen to a podcast.
Yeah. I know of one really good podcast you should listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Hellabass.
Yeah.
It's not ours. What was I just gonna ask you? Shoot, I had it and then I lost it. Help me, Bird. What was I gonna ask?
I don't know.
It was gonna be a really good one too.
Diggity dog.
Shoot.
While you're thinking of it.
Yeah, go Nate.
Go ahead. No, you got it. You thought of
it. I do. Are you still doing the Chernobyl craw?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's my favorite, dude. Do you have one there you can show people? Because it is the seriously dopest. I mean, that thing's got to work on every color of water or clarity of water ever. And then like with that clear eye, my Lord.
Well, this one's still is in the package.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Gosh.
So I did it for this podcast. So when it launches, I'll put them up on the website.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See the picture. And I did this one in a flat finish too, which I think looks even better.
Flat. Wait, bring that back up. Hold on. Bring that back up.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Focus.
And so, okay, give us some. Oh my gosh,
focused.
dude. Give us the background on that. Where did you come up with that color? It's really not. I mean, it's the same craw pattern that you do, but the colors are just super crazy. The eye is super crazy. How did you make that?
So I wanted something bright. I had a guy that sent me some wiggle warts, and there was an old Bass Pro Shops color that was real bright like that. Like it was Bass Pro Shops exclusive wiggle wart color. Mm-hmm. And he goes, I just want it bright. Something like this. He goes, just do it like that. Yeah. And so I was messing with it. And, I did it for that. And I was like, I wonder if, it got me thinking after I did those. I'm like, I bet you I can do it even brighter. Mm-hmm. And then I had those eyes sitting there, and I was like, well, we'll just see. Like,
Yeah, what are those eyes for? What else would they be used for? Because they're
so
kind of
I
weird.
had them. I used to do, and I haven't done it in a long time, and I should do it again. I just had like a green pumpkin. It had a green pumpkin back, and then faded into a chartreuse belly.
Okay.
And I first
okay.
used it on those, and then I would splatter it with chartreuse paint too.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah,
And
that sounds dope.
Yeah, you should.
I did
definitely
really
bring
well
that
on
back up.
that.
That sounds awesome.
And so I had the eyes sitting there. Like I said, I came up with that and just wanted to do something as bright as possible.
Gosh, I love that color so much. That's literally the color why I started like following you, buying your stuff. I've caught so many fish on that Chernobyl craw pattern, and the name is freaking dope. So I know you said that you struggled to find or land on a name Horseshoe tackle. How did you come up with Chernobyl craw? I mean, I get it because it looks like it's radiating something. Like the color is so bright, but how did you come up with Chernobyl craw? Because that's a pretty cool color name.
I don't know. I spent a lot of time thinking, like sitting here, huffing paint fumes,
Yeah, it just came
right.
to you.
Yeah, you come up with a pattern high as a kite, and it's like all consonants. It's that's perfect. You're like, dude, maybe wait a little bit. You're not thinking straight yet.
Try to keep the alliteration or something that rolls off the tongue well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one that I was just looking back at our Instagram messages when I ordered some for Jordan, and it was bourbon barrel craw.
Bourbon barrel, that's what it was.
I
Yeah,
got two of those for you for Christmas 2020.
Yeah, that bling 55 looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is like my go-to spring color. Is that bourbon barrel craw, the brown and orange.
So good. Yeah.
Because around me,
he might have one.
Keep talking.
I'm sure the same thing for you guys. Crawfish aren't red. Like, they're never red.
Yeah.
They're brown,
Yeah.
So brown and orange. And I had a spring where I was throwing red, catching fish on red, and then the sun went away, got cloudy out, and I switched to brown, and it was just lights out. I mean, just like that, throwing the same bait, different color.
Wow.
About a foot of visibility in water. Like something where they shouldn't be able to see it, and that darker brown, you definitely shouldn't be able to see it. It matched the watercolor. But
yeah.
And that's been kind of my go-to since in the spring.
That's awesome. I had a season. It might have been last year, maybe the year before, where I tied the Chernobyl craw on for the first tournament of the year, and the only thing I did was retie that on the crankbait rod the whole season. Like I legit had it tied on for the whole season. I fished it spring, summer, fall, into winter, like just anywhere I'd get into like some dirty water, some clear water, some rocks. Like I fished that thing all season, and it caught fish like all season long. It was super dope.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just
one of those. I probably need to get a few more.
Well, we'll get you. They'll look a little bit better than the ones you got. A little bit better than I was back then.
That matte one. Yeah, that matte one sounds sweet. We might have to pick some of those up, but let's see what this guy's got.
The eyes on these are so cute.
Okay, you narrate because I can't hear anything.
Okay, he can't hear anything. So here I am narrating. I'm not sure what I'm saying, but they got cute little eyeballs. Hold on. He's got to just drag our thingy. Okay. Oh, put your hand behind it, like the makeup tutorials, remember? Oh, paper. I can't see anything.
That ain't gonna work. Yeah. Look at this.
How's it working? Can you guys see it?
His thumb looks pretty good.
Honey,
it is kind of
bad. Do you want me to be Vanna? Yeah, you do it. I'm terrible. And then you can talk. Okay.
Both those right there.
Okay.
And that's that brown barrel craw, right?
Yep.
We are obviously pros as it comes to displaying baits, and then I'm also like struggling to find stuff in the boat. So that's the first one, that bourbon barrel craw and like the Jackal 55 crankbait. That is the deadliest freaking square bill. The eyes on top, like the old school ball sub or the bling 55 by Jackal, and then the absolute killer of all killers, the Chernobyl craw. Those eyes, the black pattern. Show the underside of it, Lola. That chartreuse on the belly of the. I mean, my God.
Yeah, come on, AJ. How are you gonna say that doesn't look good? Like, it gets better than that. Like,
yeah, it gets better than that. My lines are a lot crisper now,
dude. I don't know how they could
back
be.
then.
Right,
I was using
Thanks,
UV clear coat, and it kind of bleached out the fluorescent paint on that.
Dude, I don't know.
Just a little bit, like. The new ones are brighter.
Wow.
They're brighter. Ooh.
Yeah, we got to put in an order.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll do it
So
right now.
that's a good transition then. Wait, what noise was it? This one?
No. This one.
There it is. That's a good transition. It took me 2 tries, but I got it. AJ, how can people, if people are listening and their brains work, they should want to order some stuff from you. Especially, man, if you're a like me, a human being, and you listen to podcasts, you should maybe for this one be a little bit more like Nate and be a viewer podcast person and see some of the stuff that AJ has been showing us. But if people want to buy some of your stuff, how can they find you? How can they track you down, AJ?
Horseshoetackle.com is my website. It's where you'll be able to find anything. My Instagram's Horseshoe Custom.
Okay.
And Facebook is Horseshoe Custom Tackle.
Okay.
But the website is where everything happens. You can shoot me an email off of there.
Yeah.
We can talk. Instagram messages are much better than Facebook messages. I will see Instagram messages. I might not see a Facebook message.
Okay.
Just the way it gets muddled in there.
Yeah.
So,
and as Lola asked earlier, which I thought was a really good question, you are only selling via your website, correct? Like there's not like eBay or an Etsy or a in-store or anything. It's just on your website where people can get your stuff.
Yep. Just on my website.
Yeah. Gosh.
I don't want to pay any more fees than I have to.
I was going to say that's
true,
one
man,
place, one-stop shop.
You referenced earlier too, you said you quit your job. Are you back working somewhere? Or are you still doing this is your job?
This is my job.
I love that, dude. Gosh,
I was going to ask
awesome.
the same thing.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you, man. So before we let you go, let me ask you that then. If it is your job and this is it, what's the future look like for you, homie? Like, where do you go with this?
I'm not sure. To be 100% honest with you.
That's okay. Yeah.
Like I'm branching out a little bit. I'm selling finesse jigs now. I mean, I didn't want to step on the toes of other lure makers, like, jig makers, because I don't tie them fast enough to make money. I make way more money on a crankbait than I do on a jig, but sometimes I get tired of painting, to be honest. And like I said, I've been making jigs since I was in high school. So
That's really
it's just
cool.
something that I can kind of do for fun, which is also work.
Yeah.
So I just do finesse jigs because I think people don't spend enough time, like, a lot of the jig companies, they make jigs and they have all these different jigs, but no one really seems to focus on finesse jigs. I mean, Beast Coast
usually
does,
an afterthought. You're right.
They're starting to, but so that's all I do are finesse jigs. I have two. I have a light wire and a heavy wire. So the light wire is a thin 2/0 hook, then the heavy wire is a beefy 3/0.
Okay.
So you have two different options on that. Then I do some other things, plug knockers, which I usually do pretty well on. So quite a few of those.
Tell her what a plug knocker is, AJ.
I don't have one handy. So essentially, it's just a weight, clip on, drop it down, and then it'll get your bait unhung. As long as you don't bury that hook in there.
If you snag on a tree or whatever, the plug knocker goes down and plops it off of so you can get it back.
So you don't have to jump in.
Yeah, Lola, when we very first started dating and hanging out and fishing together, AJ, she would always sort of backhanded compliment me and say, "You're so good at getting snags out."
He was good. He'd like do the whole thing, putting the rod down and do and then he'd have
I'm like,
it.
it's because I get snagged all the effing time. It's not an impressive skill, really. No, it's not bad. You just have to learn how to do it, and that's one of the tools is a good plug knocker. Yeah, I saw a video recently of Ike. He was fishing on the shoreline somewhere with some random dude, and he got hung in some rocks, and he did that thing where you slide the rod down the line on its own,
get that.
and it still didn't free it. So that doesn't always work. Really, a plug knocker like that, because it's just the weight. If you can get it just the right angle, it's like what do you call that? Like in like South America, we're zip lining. It's like a zip line for getting your lure off. Pop it in there. Yeah, they do work really well.
Cool.
Yeah, that's dope. Also in your future, AJ is getting married, so that's pretty rad.
Do you have a date set?
October 5th.
Woo!
Oh, that's dope, dude. And did you do that because it's right after my birthday?
See?
Yeah, that's exact. It's actually on my fiance's brother's birthday, so we're gonna have
Whoa.
a cake for him at the
Oh
wedding.
my gosh, that's so cute.
That's cute.
You want to
Yeah,
cut
heck yeah.
cake with us?
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's
So-
awesome. Nate, Lola, you guys got anything else for this dude,
Oh,
this
this was
master
so
of
great.
paint before we let him roll out?
Yeah, I just do you have any like visions of like local retail shops for your baits or anything like that? Like, is that like maybe a down the road thought or anything?
So I actually had thought for a while that about just like opening a tackle shop,
Yeah.
doing a a bass centric tackle shop, because there's really, I mean, unfortunately in Omaha we have Shields, Cabela's, and Bass Pro.
Wow.
So we got all
Whoa.
three,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks I mean, there really isn't any mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those are all
those
really
are awesome
solid.
shops, but I totally
But
get what you're
for mom
saying
and
though.
pop,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
impossible for a little local spot unless you got really specific, like the hookup tackle or something JDM-ish or
you'd have to be
specific
far
bass
enough
or,
away from those places to open one up. But
yeah, and like my whole thought was kind of being like, well, I mean, I had the thought of pretty much being like Omnia before Omnia really blew up. Was doing like, pretty much no storefront, and then just doing online. But because like I said, I got the background in retail, and I worked, pretty much did most everything for that, all the way up to buying and stuff. So like warehouse work. So I kind of had all the experience to do it. And then, once, like I said, once Omnia kind of blew up, I'm like, man, I really like these guys.
Yeah. They're really
like
solid.
they're doing everything that I'd want to do, and I don't think I can compete with them. So other than having a local store here, it would be tough. But like for myself, I don't think I would. I really, honestly, I don't have hardly any local customers.
I was going to ask you that, like if it's just like if it's all over or if you do have local.
Yeah.
So,
Where have you mailed your baits to?
I'd have to look. Let's see if I can pull it up right now.
Yeah. I mean, have you sent them to some pretty cool places?
Yeah, I've sent, like, I have some in South Africa. I just got a guy that sent me a picture of a Murray cod he caught on one of my baits in Australia.
Oh my gosh.
That's sweet, dude.
So I need to get it set up, like figure out all the taxes and stuff to ship international, like full time. Like these guys would have crates in the United States, and they would just have stuff shipped there.
Oh, sure.
Once they get a crate full of stuff, they'd ship it.
Whoa.
So, but I've sold to most of the states. I looked up in the past year. There's only a few missing that I hadn't shipped to. Iowa is one of them.
Oh my gosh.
You've never shipped to Iowa?
No. The problem is, like, everyone in, I shouldn't say I know a ton of the guys that are bass fishing in Western Iowa, but I know quite a few of them, and, people. So a lot of that's just word of mouth. And
Iowa people, let's get him on the map.
Step it up.
We need to figure it out for sure.
Yeah, you need to resolve that. Jeepers.
Iowa shouldn't feel bad because I think I only had like 2 customers from Nebraska order for me. So
where you're actually from.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So I just don't focus a lot on local stuff. I do one show every year. Every year I say that like I do it every year, but I did it last year. I'm going to do it this year. Just a little swap meet show in Omaha. So that's what I just got a new banner for.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. How did it go last year?
It went well. I did one in Kansas City. They had a big outdoor fishing show, and I did not they didn't have the traffic. And I talked to other guys there that do a lot of other shows, and they say this is by far the worst they've had. Unfortunately, they did it on a weekend we had snow, they had snow down there, and a Chiefs playoff game.
Oof.
So, the Chiefs had like a 3:00 playoff game, so nobody in Kansas City was
there. They're all at home or at a bar or something. They're not going to an outdoor show to buy some dope custom painted cranks.
Right. Dang.
Yeah, so I didn't do well there, but I went and did this little show in Omaha, and I didn't prepare for it. I just grabbed what I had on the wall, brought it there, and I did better than I did down in Kansas City. So so I'm excited to do that again, and I'm really building up an inventory for stuff. Like around here, bluegill crankbaits, that's the deal.
Okay. Yeah.
I brought a bunch of rock crawlers, and we don't have any rock here, so
That's really
They're
funny.
really
just in
useful.
case.
Yeah. So are you planning on taking over the world now that you and Milliken are like the two bass fishermen from Nebraska?
I mean, we got others.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right.
We got others.
Who
I
else
don't know
is
if you
from
heard of a guy
Nebraska?
named Denny Brower, but he's from Nebraska.
Is Brower from Nebraska?
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
He's
And
got a
yes,
little bit
I've
of
heard of
history
him.
behind
I've
himself.
heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
pretty good.
He's
We're
all
all
right.
kind of built the same.
Yeah. That's awesome. Maybe he's into tacos also. We should get him on the show.
Yeah, you should try to get him on the show.
I don't think I'd be able to talk though. I think I'd be so scared of Denny Brower, like I'd be like, black blue jig. Like I don't think I'd even be able to get like sentences out, but that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know he's from Nebraska. That's dope, dude.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of bass fishing. Walleye's still king here. Around Omaha there's more bass fishing, but the lakes here suck. I mean,
Really?
like I said, we're in that club and we fished one tournament in Nebraska last year.
Oh, really? So you're
Wow.
traveling for all your spots
we
to go fish.
fished a lot in Iowa.
Okay.
Where
are you fishing? Like Spirit Lake, or what are you?
Yeah, we went up to Okoboji.
Sure.
Okoboji, that's a spot. Yeah.
That's the juice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Probably one of the best lakes in the country.
It's
Yeah,
really
there's some
slept on.
bigs up there.
Yeah. Big lake. Yeah. Big fish. Yeah. It gets slept on for sure.
Well, the problem is,
what was Big Bag? Do you remember? Because I've heard of
we hit it real bad, and a lot of our club guys are the guys that are fishing the tournaments up there, like the opens. So we have a lot of Okoboji hammers, but we had a cold front come through, and all those fish. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I kind of got it halfway figured out.
Okay. Yeah.
That's good.
Pat yourself.
I was drop shotting the front of docks, and I fish only as a co-angler. Like I don't fish the front of the boat ever.
Okay.
So I was fishing as a co, and the guy I was fishing with, I was drop shotting in front of these docks and catching fish, and he was throwing everything else. And like this is the guy that I didn't know he owned a spinning rod.
Yeah. So he's like Denny Brower.
Yeah. He's cranking or throwing a jerk bait something, and he pulled one out. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know you owned one of those. And for our club tournament, he finished second and I finished third.
Wow, overall, that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, but we didn't have. I think big bass is only 5. I say only 5, but
yeah, 5's a good fish.
It's not. And I think big bag was 18.
Even that's still a good bag. But yeah, for Okoboji, that can put out significantly larger. What kind of stuff were you hearing about Okoboji, Nate?
I think last year there were a couple 26 and 27 pound bags.
I was going to say there was some over 25, wasn't there? Yeah.
Was there a 30?
Flirting with 30. I didn't know there actually was.
Yeah. I mean, that's just wild. God, it's just crazy.
I mean, when you think bass fishing, you think Iowa. Am I right?
Right. Yeah.
No, not necessarily, but I mean,
you don't. But it's there though.
Iowa does a much better job than Nebraska. I mean, 100% does a much better job. The way they manage the lakes, how they build the lakes, how they put the structure in it's for bass. Yeah,
they're doing good out the Iowa DNR. I don't know if you ever heard of AJ, a lake that's close to where Lola and I used to live, where Nate lives now, called Lost Grove. To me, it's like a model of when the DNR puts their mind to something. So it's not a huge, what is it, Nate? 500 acres?
So, four something, I think.
Yeah,
it's not very big at all.
It's a flooded lowland, creeky area with a bunch of standing timber. It gets up to I think 55, 60 feet deep. And a couple years ago, I pulled a 7 out of there in practice. We've heard a lot of people saying there's 10s in there. But for a lake that's not even that old, the Iowa DNR, shout out Iowa DNR, honestly, they're putting in work. They're putting in work for making these bass lakes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we fish a lot of 3 mile, 12 mile Green Valley. And just one of them's always getting renovated. They're rebuilding, putting rock piles in.
Mm-hmm.
They're just doing it right.
Yeah.
Putting shallow brush. It's just, like I said, we fish most of our tournaments in Iowa. I mean, and it's not that far. We'd have to drive that far to go any place in Nebraska that's decent anyways. Probably further actually, and we're little over 3 hours from Okoboji. So
okay. Yeah.
It's not too bad of a jaunt to go fish that lake.
Dude, I'm just sitting here talking to you as I'm talking to you. I'm looking at this Chernobyl craw square bill, and I know you said you can do better. This thing is so filthy, dude. Gosh, this is so sick. This pattern is so beautiful. The color combos, man, I'm telling you. And just so everybody knows, to be totally clear, like we're not sponsored by a Horseshoe tackle. We have no, like, it isn't like some sponsor. Once a month, we'll have him on and he can push baits. Like, this is just because we respect what he's doing.
For sure.
Yeah, these are, golly, get online and buy some of these things, man. When are you going to launch the Chernobyl craws?
I could put them online right now if I wanted to.
Do it.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Wait till Taco Tuesday, maybe. That might be.
Yeah,
Do
it.
All right. Put them when I wake up tomorrow.
Okay,
Perfect.
Well, all right, man. We super appreciate you, AJ, for coming on our show. You are this. I don't know if there's some kind of an award here, but I think, do we agree here, Lola, Nate, that this dude may be the most taco-iest cooking guest we've had so far?
Yeah. It's very good.
I mean, this dude, he's grown his own
not messing
cilantro.
around.
He's grown his own jalapenos. He's making smoked prime rib tacos. His soon-to-be wife is with him because of his tacos.
It just makes sense.
You are the winner, AJ, for the most taco-iest guest we've had. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, I think that's the greatest honor that you guys could bestow.
Yeah.
Like, what's next for Horseshoe? Well, I reached my goal, so.
I wish we had
tacos. It's already shaped like a horseshoe anyway, or like a taco anyways.
Horseshoe tackle, horseshoe taco. Sounds like you have a speech impediment. It's really close phonetically. Good. So anyway, well, thank you very much, man, for jumping on. We appreciate the fire out of you. Everybody, go follow the dude. Go buy some lures. They are worth it. They're well made. They're well thought out. Incredibly well painted. Thank you, AJ. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
I got one more for you.
Okay.
Oh, let's get it.
I know you guys deer hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have Hank Shaw's Buck Moose book, pick it up.
Okay.
He's a chef turned hunter.
Oh, right on.
His barbacoa venison, or I think it's anything like that roast.
Yeah.
Right.
Great.
Okay.
I'm gonna
look it up. Yeah. We're always down to grow. All right, man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, now. Bye.
Peace.
All right. So that was the dude.
Yeah.
That was really fun. Because it's funny, like, whenever we bring people on like AJ, somebody who's not Brandon Polinick, where you can look on YouTube and find a million interviews he's done, you don't really know what to expect. And this dude was kind. He had a great vocabulary.
Yeah.
He was very intelligent, spoke clearly, spoke well, and knew his crap about tacos. That was amazing. I don't think he even wanted to talk about tackle. But man, Nate, what did you think?
Well, first of all, thanks to everybody for putting up with my coughing throughout this episode and pausing of the mic, and thanks for putting me on that one, Jordan. That was a little bit ridiculous, but
it happens,
right? For sure. But yeah, no, being able to talk to the artist, the man, behind the baits, that was awesome. Like he says, I don't know how the quality of the stuff that we got years ago could get any better. Because it's just ridiculous. Like the attention to detail, little stuff like the eyes in the bait and like the blending of the colors and texture of the back, like he was saying, how he can texture the shell on the crawfish. Like it's just wild. Like it's crazy.
It really is.
Just so dope.
Yeah.
And if anybody saw there on YouTube, I actually did a decent job.
It was better
displaying it that time.
That was better than the first time for sure.
Yeah.
Much better without the paper.
Like, what was that? Oh, why are you coughing now?
Nate, it's contagious through the microphone. What did you do to me?
It makes me feel better. It makes me feel a lot better. I'll be honest.
Makes you feel better that I'm coughing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Makes me feel better. You're coughing now.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't trickle into to tonight, in your sleep and your bedtime like mine will, but now I feel better.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't have to, Nate. And also, if anybody hasn't checked it out yet, please head to tackleandtacos.com. Our merch store is open. It's still the most exciting thing in the world when I get an email like, you got an order or whatever. T-shirts,
hats,
stickers. We have a sticker sheet that has all kinds of cool stickers on it that the stickers on the sticker sheet are not stickers you can buy, if that makes any sense.
like individually.
Right. It's just on the sticker sheet. My favorite one by far is the cut down tree, like a tree stump with the leaf growing out of it. And it says positivity is worth the effort, like an old school, like 1980s summer camp font.
Yep.
Yeah, we're just having fun with it, man. So please check that out. Support it. Please go to our new friend AJ's website, support him, buy some stuff. And his we had it written down somewhere, his mission statement: to set you apart from the pack, ensuring you have the perfect bait and the perfect color. There really is times, man, where like if the fish are eating I don't know what, a rock crawler or a deep diving crankbait, having that similar or same bait but in a color the fish haven't seen yet can quite literally win you a tournament. And if you're
without a doubt.
And if you're not tournament fishing, it can quite literally just put more fish in the boat, make you have more fun while you're fishing. And the fish have not seen some of the crap that AJ's doing. They just haven't. So it really is. It's worth your money to go snag one.
Oh yeah. And support a small business.
Yeah, right. Support a dude.
I mean, it's not like
he's chasing a dream.
That's small anymore. If he quit his job to do it,
quit his job. That's
for him.
That's big time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so pumped to hear that he's still doing that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You guys have anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't. No, I don't.
Awesome.
No, this was a good one. Yeah,
Nate,
this was fun.
go get better. Go feel better.
I'm gonna try. I can feel it getting tight up in here.
Shoot, but just be positive. Just be positive.
Because you know why.
You know, positivity is worth the effort.
Peace.
That was such a good transition. That was so smooth. All right, we love you guys. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep, peace out.